Hi, I'm Heather from Loving Lentils, and today I have a cold, so I really want to make soup. And I was just at the local health food store and bought some potted barley. It's not something I've made before. I've always bought the pearl barley, but I recently heard that having the pearl barley wasn't as good for you. So I'm trying the potted barley today, and I decided to come up with a soup based around this potted barley. So I think what I'm going to do, because the potted barley takes so long to cook, is get it on the stove now and then add in the other ingredients for the length of time they take to cook. The potted barley is supposed to take 1¼ hours, so I'm going to get that on first after I cook my garlic and onion. So just thinking of the typical soup you think of when you think of barley is beef and barley. So obviously I'm not going to be putting beef in my soup, but I'm going to kind of base the soup around what I think the typical flavor of a beef and barley soup would be without the animal. So I'm going to do carrots, onions, garlic, and instead of beef, I'm going to use lentils because I just love lentils as a replacement for beef. And I might even put some split peas in there. So the barley, the lentils, both have high soluble fiber, as well as the split peas. All three are high in protein. The split peas and lentils more than the barley, but the barley does have amino acids and therefore protein. Also, the lentils and the barley have selenium in them, which is an antioxidant, so it's very protective for your cells and helps prevent cancer. So it's just all good stuff. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to put lots of vegetables that I have around. I think I'm going to do potatoes. I have leftover white and sweet potatoes, so they're already cooked, but you could just add them in a little earlier. I'm going to put mine in at the end because I've already cooked them. I just basically want to use them up. And carrots, I think, and then probably a big bunch of spinach at the end, or maybe some fresh spinach and some of that frozen kale I had bought. Put that in towards the end and try to get some good flavors going. Maybe some tomato paste in there too. So let's see how it turns out. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cooked 1 white onion and 2 cloves of garlic. I didn't use any oil, and I'm going to go ahead and add 3/4 teaspoon of turmeric because I love turmeric, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add in my barley, potted barley, 1 cup, which I already drained and rinsed. Or I guess that would be rinsed and drained. I'll stir that all in. And then I'm going to add 6 cups of water. And of course, when you put the water in, try not to make quite as big of a mess as I did. Well, there I go again. I think I got most of the water on the stove now. Anyhow, that's okay. So I've got 6 cups of water in there, 1 cup of potted barley, 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 3/4 teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put in 2 vegetable bouillon cubes. And then I'm just going to go cut and peel 4 carrots. And I'm also going to rinse and drain each half a cup of green split peas and half a cup of green lentils. Okay, so I'm going to bring this here to a boil, and then I'm going to put a lid on it for about 40 minutes, and then I'll add the green lentils. So the barley and the broth has come to a boil, and I'm going to put 2 bay leaves in and put it on simmer. And set the timer for 40 minutes. So the 40 minutes has gone by, and I'm going to add in the green lentils. So I've noticed in a lot of recipes that I see online and that they always call for brown lentils, but I don't know if they're different from green lentils because we only get green lentils here. Well, we do get red lentils, but they have a different consistency, so they're really good to puree, make things thicker, or puree and use instead of an oil. They also have a milder flavor, so they're good to use in cookies. That's one of my favorite ways to use red lentils. Okay, so I added the green lentils, and you put the lid back on and put the timer on for 20 minutes, and then I'll add the green split peas and the carrots. Yeah. So the 20 minutes is up, and it's time to add the split peas. But I'm noticing there's not a lot of liquid left in here, so I'm going to also add 2 more cups of liquid. Then I'm going to put the carrots in now too. As well as the tomato paste. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Okay, so I'm going to add the chopped kale too, frozen chopped kale. If you had fresh, that would be fine. Okay, so that will be another 20 minutes of cooking time. So the split peas have cooked, and I'm going to add in my already cooked potatoes. So I'm just using up leftover potatoes. You could definitely do them from raw, and they would just have to be put in earlier. So now I'm just going to move it over to my warm zone until supper time, and we're all done. It looks really good. So I'm pretty excited to eat it tonight. I did give it a try, and the flavor is really good.